Let's see if we've gone live yet. Yeah, we are starting up. And the only person that I can see online is Gordon03. Let me pause this. Let me pause that. How's it, Gordon? How you, bud? We are now live. Hopefully we're going to get some viewers tonight. And that is what we are going to be having a first look at tonight. Good evening, fellow vapors, enthusiasts. Gordon was the winner today. He got you first. Hey, Ruby. Oh. Got some nice toys to play with tonight, to show you some quick looks at it. Wait for some more people to join in. Say hello, everybody. Madam Ruby, Talil, Siraj, Ronaldo, Etienne, Prinlin, Anthony, Mark, Steam, Kevin. How's it, James? How you, my girl? And Mr. Chris Dutoy. Yo, those are joining on nicely now. It's good. First impressions tonight. Time to have a vape first. To all the people, if you're watching, those who won the prizes, well done on winning the prizes. Mrs. M, I can see you ecstatic with getting your prizes. Meneer Jannie Jordan, hoe gaan het met u, meneer? Mr. Michael Shortman Morris, Brandon, yeah, how's it? Okay, I'm going to get the review part of it done quickly because people moan that I take too long and I waffle, so I'm going to get to it quickly. What are we here to talk to you tonight about? We are here tonight to talk to you about that, which is the new VGOD Elite Mech. As most of you will know, I'm a bit of a stickler when it comes to mechs and mech safety. Yeah, so I'm going to run through the mech with you and give you my pros and cons in it. Yeah, if you're wanting to worry about mech safety, there is a video previously that I've done about mech safety. Mr. Wiener is in the house. No, we're not giving away an Elite tonight. We are giving away some other stuff tonight. But I want to get to this first, and I'll get to the prizes, so that people can watch this in the beginning, and then they don't have to watch the rest of the video after the fact. So what we're here to talk about is the Elite Mech from VGOD. Typical packaging that it comes in. It was quite a funny thing though, because it's amazing with these guys, they'll try and promote the rest of their products. It says only use VGOD Pro coils with an authentic VGOD rebuildable tank on the device. You don't have to worry about that as long as you're using good coils and you know how to build coils. You're fine, and you don't have to use an authentic VGOD rebuildable tank or RTA. You can use whatever you want on here as long as you've got the long 510 pin. Packaging, they always got some nice smart packaging, which is lacquer, typical nice box, nice colors, and inside the box comes your little bag. Most people buy the VGOD just for the bag. Obviously it's got VGOD written on here. Inside the bag comes with some little goodies. It comes with a user manual. Okay, it comes with two little stickers. It comes with a spare spring for your trigger or your button. And then, which I thought was really nice, was really cute, is in the packet comes a little VGOD pin. You know, you put it through like a lapel, and it's got a little backing on it, which I thought was a nice. I don't know if they've ever put it in any of the other ones. I can't say I've ever seen it, but it's got a nice little, which you can pop on your hat or something like that, which I thought was really, really nice. Nice little extra. And then obviously inside there is your little casing, nicely surrounded by foam. It does come in a plastic insert, which I've taken off. and it's just got foam. These are nice little bags, is because those who've ever seen coil art bags, it's got places underneath it with these elastic strips where you can shove bottles in, and which also is stuck on a Velcro, so you can take it out. So if you wanted to, once you've got your thing out, you can actually put your Mech nicely safed away with a bottle of juice and maybe a drip or two and a couple of batteries, which is really nice. I think that's a really, really nice part about VGOD's products. But let's get to the Mech. Okay, that's what she looks like in person. Okay, this is the copper version. I'm sure that they will be coming out with an aluminium version as well. Okay, you can see that the design is different from the first VGOD. The first VGOD was obviously just straight cylindrical. This one's got a nice little badge inserted in it. Carbon fiber, what they say, let me read the exact words. Aerospace carbon fiber switch, which is the bottom. It is a hybrid. For those who don't know what a hybrid is, a hybrid does not have a 510 pin inserted. So you have to have an RDA that has got a long enough 510 pin to be able to work properly on this. Okay, because when you screw your RDA in, the 510 pin makes direct contact with the positive end of the battery. Okay, so you close the circuit off. It is quite weighty. I haven't actually measured the weight, but it is quite weighty. It takes a 25mm RDA. It's 85 millimeters in height, so it is a little bit shorter, if I can remember correctly, over the older VGOD. Wait, I've got an old one here. It's marginal. It's probably about a millimeter shorter than the old one. Well, there's the old one versus the new one, side by side. Okay. It's probably, same height, exactly the same height. Nice copper button, which is nice. The threads on these are silky smooth. When I mean so smooth, it's like a baby's bum. That's how smooth these threads are. Really good threads on here. The nice thing what they have done, which I think the rest of them Mech makers will follow suit, and the first people I saw do it in a Mech was actually Wise Mech in the Noisy Cricket V2. They started putting these inserts into the chamber just to help with extra protection, just in case you had a battery that you didn't check properly that had a little scratch on it. So it's got has got a plastic insert in the tube to give you a little bit of extra protection on your skin of your battery, which I think is quite a nice idea to do. The venting holes are actually on the button. Okay, now if you remember the old one, the old venting holes go down the side there. Okay, there are no venting holes anywhere on the cylinder. Okay, although the cylinder I think could take a 18650 venting inside it. It is really thick. As I said, it's 25 millimeters, but on its widest point on the tube, it goes to 29 millimeters. So that is an extra 4 millimeters of copper. So I think it could be able to handle, although I wouldn't want to try. It's probably the only downfall I would have liked to have seen, but I think aesthetically it doesn't go with the mod, but I would have liked to have seen venting holes on the actual tube itself, just from a safety perspective. I know aesthetically it might not be too pleasing, but yeah, also I don't think they could put venting holes because you've got the plastic insert. Yeah, so it's, yeah, you're giving one safety feature but taking one away. I still would have liked to see venting holes somewhere on the actual tube, in my opinion. As I said, the threads are really silky smooth on this. What I've done, I forgot to get my battery out, just hold on. I've got to find my special batteries. Oh, there's my baby. The LG HB batteries. These are 1500 milliamp hour batteries, and these are rated for a lot lower ohmage. I'm not going to tell you what the build that I've got in here, I'm putting in here, because it's not something that I would advertise, but I am putting, I've got a fairly lowish build here. Okay, the dripper that I've decided to use, because I actually have not even used it and we've had them for so long, the dripper that I'm going to test it out with is the Desire Rabies. Okay, that's the build that I've put in there. You can see it from there. Okay, it is a fairly lowish build, and I've used 22 gauge nichrome flat wire from Haywire, and I'm using the Desire Rabies RTA on it. Yeah, just from if you're using a Mech, always screw your RDA down first before you actually tighten the bottom. Okay, that's just in my opinion, that's the safety aspect that you need to follow. I'm just going to drip this up quickly. I'm using a juice that we're going to be launching in the not too distant future. Just did the last little tweaks on it this last week. Just waiting for it to nice and saturated. I want to see how this puppy hits. You know, the original VGODs really hit nicely. Let's just see what this. It hits nicely. The button also, I didn't mention earlier, the button on this is also, it's no matter where you press it, it's got the same feel. You know, some of the buttons you have to push one side rather than the other side. This one, it doesn't matter. So, oopsie, I've done my usual story of over dripping. So let's have a vape on it. Oh, yeah, boy. She hits as well as the, if not slightly better than the previous VGOD. It feels very, some people might not, I've got really big hands, folks, so it's a little bit different, but it feels really comfortable in that hand with that little bulge that's in the middle. It feels comfortable in the hand, especially as if you've got bigger hands. It fits nicely when you, like I vape like that, I use Mechs like that. And with the nice chunkiness in the center part here, it fits really nicely there. Yep. So I'm going to say this, pros on this: good quality build, nice, very nice finish, silky smooth threads, really lovely trigger button or fire button or whatever you want to call it, really nice. Enough extras. Probably the only thing that I would have liked to have seen on this is I would have liked to have seen venting holes, but aesthetically I think that's the reason why they didn't pod. There is venting holes in the button. How that actually works, I'll have to actually maybe email them, but it's solid enough to be able to take I think a venting battery inside. But yeah, we don't ever want to get to that point. But overall, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Only one con I can find it is the venting holes, but that's a personal opinion on it. But yeah, she hits like a beast. And this Rabies, it's the first time I've ever played with it, guys, so I'm not going to give you my opinion on it right now. But she actually also is a good dripper. So I'm going to give it a thumbs up, folks. They have made something that's better than they had before. You know, a lot of these Mechs are very similar. They come out. I like the ergonomic feel. That's I must say it does feel very comfortable in my hands, folks. It does feel comfortable in my hands. But yeah, gonna give it a thumbs up. Let me just I'll leave that till later. Just like wait, let me just give you this. Okay, so it's got a crest design, deep set VGOD engraving, diameter 24 mils, height 85 mils, 510 hybrid connection, floating battery adjustment, so you can adjust. Some batteries are slightly smaller than other ones, so you can adjust that. Aerospace carbon fiber switch, and then the plastic tube insert that I've already mentioned. Well, it will be a worthwhile buy for anybody looking for a mech and who is aware of battery safety and who knows Ohm's law. So let me just check some questions here. And there are a lot of them already. Holy crap, you people can talk a lot. Ronaldo does, I must say a lot of people buy aesthetically, and when you get a nice little box like that, it adds value to it, so which is nice. A lot of people buy them just for the friggin' box. How's Mohammed? Mr. Kurcheo, how are you, Mania? One day when I'm big. Can't see any questions. Everybody's saying hello. To everybody who's saying hello to me, hello. Now I've got the build in here. I would not put into somebody's mech unless I know who the person is and what batteries they use, etc. Because it's not something that I would advertise people to use, but I'm using the appropriate battery for the build that I've got in here. Ethan, I'll talk to you tomorrow, my boy. Okay, that was that one. That's it out the way. People can go and watch that video when they want to watch it. Time for a sip of Coke. Just for those of you who like menthol juices, I was never a big lover of menthol juices up until probably a year or so ago. I had a really bad case of flu, and old Uncle Rob was in the shop with me, and maybe a year and a half ago, Uncle Rob was in the shop and he said, Craig, and he gave me a Rio for the day to use. I didn't own a Rio then. He gave me a Rio for the day to use with XXX in, and I've always now got a tank, me. I walk around with multiple devices. Okay. I've always got a tank with a menthol juice in it. It's just, I use it almost like as a palate cleanser. And I've pretty much vaped XXX and a couple of menthols that I've made, and that's really all that I've vaped. And then darling Mr. Gerard from Wiener Vapes dropped some juices off with me the other day as a sample, and holy moly, I am absolutely blown away. That's the juice I'm talking about. Okay, I have alluded it into posts and stuff like this. It's a new juice from Wiener Vape Company. It will be launching shortly or soon. When I say I have vaped 100, 200, and that's on my 200, I've vaped 250 mils of it, and I vaped it in a B-box. I vaped 250 mils in a week and a bit, week or 2 weeks, since I've had this. It is, when I mean it is absolutely mind-blowing good. It is absolutely mind-blowing good. I wish I could steal a recipe from him, because it's, I'm going to give you the blurb, okay, because obviously that's the right thing to do. I'm not a person to do juice crit, because juice is totally subjective, and I'm not a Philistine because I vape various things, and it's really hard to actually criticize or promote another juice vendor when I'm a juice maker myself. But when credit's due, and in my opinion, you know, unbaked is one of those other ones that I just can't vape enough of. But yeah, so I'm going to give you the blurb from Gerard himself, and the juice is called Panama, obviously. Just think of the following, close your eyes and think of the following: blue skies, ocean, river and streams, the dark green jungle, fields and plants, the heavy rains and dry seasons breeze, and big fluffy clouds. So you can imagine you're sitting on a beach somewhere on an island somewhere, where the long beaches of the Pacific and the tranquil reefs and coves of the Caribbean come together. Panama brings together pineapple and watermelon on a plate of fruits with a canal of ice to refresh you on your exotic journey. That's what Panama is. Yeah, this stuff is absolutely insanely good. And I don't like giving other juice makers credit because, you know, I'm a juice maker myself. But where credit's due. Guys, if you like menthol in any way, when this stuff hits the shelf, buy yourself a big bottle, because you will not look back once you bought this stuff. It is, only word I can use is befok. Absolutely befok. So yeah, guys, when this stuff launches, don't even think twice. If you like menthol, you'll love this juice. That's Mr. Wiener done. Absolutely awesome. Kurt, it's spring loaded, dude. Well, it comes with a spare spring, so I'm going to make this. I haven't opened up the button. I'm not going to open up button on a new one, but it comes with a spare spring, so I'm making the assumption it's spring, but it's really smooth spring. Really smooth spring. Hello from California. Time to get busy. I can hide pretty much anything in my hand. There's the Mech almost gone. Yeah, Anthony, I'm a Triple X fan, and please don't take anything away from Triple X. Triple X is absolutely fantastic juice, but I haven't vaped Triple X since I've had this. So yeah, I'm not trying to down the spirits of Vapor Mountain, but I have not vaped Triple X since I started vaping this. Meditation vapor. Yeah, I've got it in the billet and the B box. It's absolutely awesome. Okay, what I'm giving away tonight, I have got a Azeroth RTA, which I'm going to give away tonight. I'll do a lucky draw, or not a lucky, yeah, I'll do a, what am I doing? I'm going to do a, I think I'll do a, we'll do a one of those bloody riddles again. And I've also got a Wiener shirt. For those big guys, this is a Triple X shirt. So it's from Wiener Vape Company. I've got a shirt to give away, and I've got an Azeroth that's going to go in one prize to one person. Okay, it's a silver Azeroth RTA. So that's what I'm giving away tonight. We'll give it away later. Yeah, it's the same finish as the previous Mech. It's almost like a pitted. I don't quite know what the terminology is. This is not going to chip easily. I can tell you that. This is a Mech that I don't know. There was something wrong with the fire button on this, and I was able to fix it. And I've dropped this, whatever, and it's the same finish as that, except a little bit rougher. It's more pitted, if that makes sense. Yeah, Hugo is under strict instructions with our next range of apparel that there will be for the larger man, because like Kurt and myself, we are large men. Double XL and 2XL shirts just do not fit these frames, unfortunately. Okay, the other thing that I'm here to talk about tonight, okay, which I was actually blown away when it arrived. I'm just going to slap that picture up on the if I can find it. I'm hoping I can find it. No, is these puppies? They have been selling like hotcakes. So Hugo's actually ordered some more, and they arrived in the shop today. This is the MLK 200. I'm just going to get the blurb up for it. Just give me 2 seconds. Those are the 3 finishes they come in. It's a really elegant mod, in my opinion. Okay, it's from a company called Think Vape, and they decided that they were going to put their own chip into one of the mods, just to be able to get to market with the guys who can't afford obviously the big DNA type chips. Really elegant mod. I like it because of the top fire button. It's got a top fire button here. I like to vape like this, and with a thumb it just makes so much sense to have it up there. The finish is absolutely amazing. The product looks of quality, even though it's a steal at its price. It is a 200 watt mod. Can fire down as low as 5 watts up to 200 watts. The materials are zinc alloy, carbon fiber, leather and wood. It has got a spring-loaded 510 pin, which is obviously a must-have. It's got temperature sensing mode. It supports coils down to 0.1 ohms. I just wish that the guys would actually start going a little bit lower. I know the boxer goes down to I think 0.05. I just wish the other guys would get a little bit lower, because in this day and age guys are vaping at 0.15, 0.11, and sometimes me a little bit lower than that. I would have liked to fire something a little bit lower, especially with the new Nichromes 22 gauges and 20 gauges that can fire really low. It's a dual battery OLED screen, black, silver and chrome, or black, silver, and then like your gunmetal chrome. It's got reverse battery polarity, short circuits, overheat, battery tension too low, dimensions. It's 86 millimeters high, 55 millimeters wide, and 55 millimeters that way and 26 millimeters that way. So it can fit all your 25 millimeter tanks quite easily on it. It's really smart. Really smart. Bottom batteries go in the bottom, which is nice. It's also quite a nice little door, clips nicely. So if you're in the market for a new mod, yeah, can't go wrong with this. Had a good couple of people have bought them already, or quite a few people have bought them. Our first shipment was already sold out. This is our second shipment of them. So if you're looking for a reasonably priced mod which was quite elegant, have a look at these guys. That's really awesome. That's that out of the way. We have another hit. Dashtech's the difference, as I said, really it just comes down to the ergonomic feel of it in your hand. Up to we're talking about the VGOD here, the Mech. The button is a lot better, but the button's a lot smoother than the old one. This is the new one. Old one, yeah. Button's a lot smoother. It's a lot thicker. It has got a little bit of protection in. They put a protective sleeve inside the tube, and it really hits well. Also impressed with this Rabies RTA. For the first time I've used one, and it's actually a really nice RTA. The airflow is actually quite wicked. It's almost got like an Icon airflow, where that's channeled in onto the coil, which is nice, really nice. I'm just checking here because people emailing me and messaging me here. Just hold on. No, got nothing to do with that. That's fine. Gordon, they will be available. Okay, while Gordon asked the question, are the fog source concentrates available yet? For those who've checked out our Facebook pages and the Facebook pages that we've post on during the course of the day, we have revamped and are still revamping our whole DIY section. You know, DIY has never been our main focus, but with the a lot of people, obviously cash is also tight. A lot of people have been asking, you know, can you expand your range and stuff like that. So we decided to take the plunge. So you'll notice that we have drastically slashed all of our prices on our concentrates, our nicotine. We haven't dropped the prices too drastically on PG and VG because we're waiting for bigger quantities to arrive, and then we will do that as well. But we are also adding on pre-made or pre-mixed concentrates for like shake weight, vape, and shake weight and then vape types of setup, which you can get. There'll be 24 different pre-mixes, 4 of which are well-known juices. They are 4 juices that we have taken out of the Fogs range because we are rebranding the entire Fogs range and adding 4 new juices. We've taken 4 out, and those will all be available. And what we've also decided to do is that recipes that I've been working on over the years that have quite not just, well, we haven't put them into a range for whatever reason. There's a couple of hundred of them that we'll be slowly adding these to the mix. So, you know, there'll be menthols, there'll be sweets, there'll be whatever pre-mixed stuff so that you can buy that. And then obviously we're going to be adding on during the course of the year a whole lot new ranges of different types of concentrates. I think our first set will be from we'll be adding a whole lot of different ranges of concentrates, and at really good prices, to obviously help you vapors along. So yeah, that will be, hopefully I'll have everything set up for the premixes for this weekend, so they'll be available. But the prices were slashed today, and you're now getting a 20ml concentrate from Flavor Apprentice concentrates on our 20ml bottles, and they are for 65 Rand. So we've doubled the size and we've only added 10 Rand on, so it's a really good price. And we've also cut the prices of our nicotine down drastically, really drastically. So yeah, have fun with that. Oh, more cold drink. What else have we got going on? Ronaldo, it won't be with recipe, it'll actually be a pre-made juice. So you just have to shake, wait, vape. What I can tell you, there's the Final Descent, which is the peanut butter and jam from the Fogs going into that. There is the Grand Escape, which is the strawberry shortcake going into the premixes. There is Delhi Express, which is the Cinnabon going into that. And then there's Pacific Coast, which is a baked pear, cinnamon cookie, vanilla ice cream. And then there's 20 other ones that are premixed from Flavor Art that are going into that. And hopefully that'll be in there on the weekend and live on the weekend. Yeah, this banner will be changing. We're doing a whole rebrand. Obviously going to be moving into a new shop which they've broken ground on this week, or end of last week, and that'll be ready in the next month or 2. And we're doing a whole rebranding of Vape. So yeah, look out for it. It's going to be epic. What else have I got to talk about? I've done that. I've done the Mech. I've done Panama, which is it's one of those juices that you can actually just want to drink this stuff. It's so lekker. What makes me think of this, I lived in the Greek Isles for a while, and you sit on the beach and you have like a cocktail or whatever, then you go dive into the Mediterranean, And the Mediterranean, as you know, the water's cold compared to the outside temperature. So it's like you're having all of those sensations going on. Absolutely divine. Cut out, absolutely divine. I wish I'd come up with that juice myself. Absolutely divine. I need more juice. I need more juice. I'm getting dry hits, which is a good sign that this thing hits like a beast. Yeah, that's that. Any questions, folks? Any questions? Any questions? This Mech really hits hard. I'll be keen to see if they do an aluminium one like this. It is quite. These are both copper ones. They're both copper. And this one weighs probably almost, okay, so obviously this one's got a battery in it, but without the battery, I say it's 1.5 times as heavy without the battery. Oh, Eshan asked when we're getting Serpent 25 replacement glasses. I know we've ordered them, but there was nothing. We've asked for them from China, but there was nothing available. So they are on the list. As soon as they are available, they will be shipped to us. Dastrix, I did tell Hugo to put the Ethos crispy treats on the list of juices to order, but I did tell him that. Our juices are not available internationally, Michael. Compared to the HHA Mech, it hits probably the same, eh? It's more ergonomic in the hand. Yeah. I'm gonna give it. Say it's slightly better than the HHA from a hitting from a hit. Talil asked, do you think we'd stock the K-Fun RTA? Some seriously good reviews about it. I actually had one arrive in my shop today from a customer who bought one from overseas and who's having a problem wicking it, and I'm going to have a look at it tomorrow, and if it's worthwhile after I've played with it around tomorrow, then I'll think about getting them. I can't say just yet, Talil. Session, I have not played with the Emmet 25 single coil yet. I haven't played with it. I'm sorry, I will play with it and then I can give you my impressions during the course of the week. Gordon asks, any safety tips with regards to running my Boxer Hugo on bypass mode? Although you're on bypass mode, there is still some safety features in there. Okay, it's giving you raw power, but there are still some safety features built in there. You know, with anything that goes into bypass, which in essence is a form of mechanical, you just need to know that you're building safely. That's all. You know, if you're building like 0.15 down to that low, that's fine. You know, you've got a 510 pin, so you know you don't really have to worry about how long your 510 pin is on your RDA or whatever tank you're using on it. You know, the thing is with me, I'm not going to use a regulated mod to go and bypass when I've got a Mech, but that's everybody's opinion is different. Kylan versus Amit, Chris. Kylan is still my go-to tank for anything fruity, hasn't changed at all, and the Amit Dual is still my tank to go for. Sorry, no, not the Amit, sorry, I was thinking of the Azeroth. Between the Kylan and Amit, I'm still going to go with the Kylan because I don't like noisy tanks, and the Amit to me is noisy. Sorry, yeah, I didn't quite check the tank there. Anthony, we have got a Smock RBA glass in stock. just go look on our website. We have got glasses for the RBA on the Big Baby Beast. Session, the reloaded RTAs are actually not available for us to purchase it. We have got them on our list to order, but we can't get them as yet. Michael Bayers asked, have you noticed any issue with tanks not fitting flush on the iJoy Captain? Sorry, no, I haven't. I haven't seen. Just got to worry how long your 510 pin is. So tanks like the, trying to think of the ones that have got long 510 pins. iJoy 5 might not fit there because it's got a really long 510 pin, but I haven't noticed off the top of my head. Good. Yeah, it all depends. T-Vapes, it all depends on what your budget is. But if your budget can afford to buy a VGOD, then buy a VGOD. If your budget can't afford to buy a VGOD, then get something like an HHA, which is one of our mods. It's a hybrid as well, but it's a couple of $100 cheaper. Kishan asks, how's it, Craig? I've got a broken glass on a Shadow Omni. Is there any hope of getting replacement parts? I really doubt that, Kishan. Purely because it's built-in glass. You'd have to buy a whole tank, unfortunately. Yeah. Yes, Julian, they are on their way. On the note of squonkers, you'll see I popped up a photograph of the inbox. We have had a shipment of these arrive. We've got the black carbon fiber, we've got the gold carbon fiber, we've got the 2 leather versions, we've got the rainbow version, and then we've got the blue carbon fiber that have arrived. If this is a single battery 75 watt DNA squonker. Rob Fisher bought one earlier on, and just go watch his review on it. It's an absolutely amazing squonker. Yeah, it's a single battery. Battery's easy to get in and out, so yeah, if battery life's a problem, then yeah, it might not be the thing for you, but it's an absolutely amazing squonker. Then paired on top of that, you put an Icon RDA. Oh, you're a match made in heaven. Match made in heaven. Callum, I've just okay, I've got the rabies on here. I have the Mad Dog. I did enjoy the Mad Dog. It wouldn't have made my top 5, but looking at the airflow on this rabies, which is the follow-on to the Mad Dog, okay, it's got very similar airflow to the Icon where it's funneled, and I must say it's vaping really nicely. I was like, oh, you know, there's so many RDAs and that out, you know, what's going to make it different? But I have to say the flavor and the airflow on this is really good. Flavor's on point. I have to say the build deck's also quite nice. It is a little bit smallish where you can place your cotton because of the way that they've done the airflow on it. So you can't get as much airflow around those coils as I would like to get around them, purely where your coils are positioned. But it's a nice deck to build on. It's not that hard to build on it. Nice size post holes, nice size probe screws. I'm not going to tell you the build that I've got on here because it's not something that I would voluntarily let someone build on their mod. But it's got a nice. Also, it's nice. It's got the bottom here it's a Derlin heat sink on the bottom, which protects the heat transfer, which is also very nice. And then obviously, yeah, an Ultim heat sink at the bottom of it, which is also nice. Thank you, Mr. Morris. Chris, in the RDTA versions, depends if you're chasing flavor or if you're chasing clouds. If you're chasing flavor, the Serpent 22 RDTA single coil, oh man, the flavor on that thing is really off the chart. If you're going wanting dual coil, then either the Alpine or the Merlin. I'm favoring more the Merlin than the Alpine, but it's marginal. And then if you're wanting a cloud chucker as well as a good vapor producing one, a large vapor producing one, and with good flavor, then I'd go the iJoy 5 RTA. Those are my choices there. Mad for diving says hello. Any problem with the Smock Alien, the new batches with the good paint, like the board getting fried, especially after the update? No, we haven't had any issues with the Smock Alien, the new batches of Smock Aliens with paintwork and stuff like that. And although that they bring out these firmware updates, my experience and our dealings with customers is that sometimes these firmware updates don't work. We do not advocate you doing, although they say that they can and we can't stop you doing it. We've had to roll back a couple of devices that have got firmware upgrades just to get them working again. So I don't trust firmware upgrades. Excuse me. That was a big sneeze now. So yeah, I don't like doing firmware updates on devices, purely because we've had too many, not a hell of a lot, but we've had a couple of issues where we've had to roll back the firmware to actually get the device working. Something was corrupted or something that was done wrong. So yeah, I'd rather stick away from doing firmware updates. You know, people want to put pictures and shit on like a, yeah, that's what a cell phone's for. A mod's there to give you battery, you know, that's it. Hello, Mr. Dreschen, all the way from the United Kingdom. How are you, my man? Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yanni, the premixes, I haven't quite done the mathematics on them just yet. I am busy working on them, but it's going to be between, for a 20mm, between like $90 and probably $105 round about there once I've done the mathematics properly, for 20 mils, and then 20 mils would probably most likely make you 100 mils of juice. So if you do the mathematics, yeah, it's a cheap way of vaping. If you add your nicotine, the amount of nicotine, so if you're 3 milligram, you know, nicotine, 70 mils of VG. Yeah, so it's going to be a really cheap way of vaping once we've done it. Yeah, so yeah, between $90 and 105 Rand, round about there. I just got to do the final mathematics. You know, we're shaving a lot of the costs off there. So yeah. Yeah, Dreschen, I know TPD is beginning to annoy you, dude, but rather have that than have them trying to freaking ban everything like in the USA. The latest thing is that in San Francisco Central, they're not allowed to sell flavored concentrates or flavored juices. Oh, fuck, give me a break, please. You know, that's fucking ludicrous. Sorry, excuse my language. If you're offensive to my language, then just stop watching. But yeah, it's ridiculous what they're doing now with this thing. No, Chris, the Nick would not be in the premix, purely because we don't know what Nick is. It's too much of a PT to say, well, there's a 0 milligram, there's a 3 milligram, there's a 6 milligram, or whatever. The Nick is up to you to put in how much Nick you want. We'll give you guidelines on percentages that you'll need to put in, and steeping time for the juices. And then you must add your own Nick, add your own VG, add your own PG to it, and yeah, but we give you guidelines to work with, so which is nice. Mark, no, we won't do a VG only premix, purely because there's only a couple of really good VG concentrates out there, and they're also hell of expensive. Yeah. What else came into the shop this week? We did have quite a bit arrive. Obviously, we've got new panels for the inbox. We've got some new leather panels for those guys who've got the carbon fiber and graphite ones who wants the leather panels. We've got those. We did have a couple of people asking us for the replacement bottles for the Squonkers. We've got those in. Obviously the Mechs we've already spoken about. I've spoken about the H-Cigar inboxes. We've got Wiener's limited edition Good Boy Oak Reserve, which is also mouth-wateringly lovely. The Hard Hitters Alliance Rogue Reserve is back in stock on batch number 3 now, and it is flying off the shelf, folks. If you are a lover of the tobacco juices like Good Boy and Rogue, which is both tobaccos, you need to jump in quickly because they are limited in batches and limited quantities, so you need to jump in there. We've got some juices arriving. We've got 3 VGOD juices in. The Sourlicious, the Pink Cakes, and Lush Ice. I have not tried any of them, folks. And we got more stocks of the Insider Extra sets and Boro boxes for the B box. So those have arrived back in the store, along with some different colors in the box of V2 188 by Hugo Vapor. So that's what's new in the store. We have got a whole lot of stuff arriving this weekend, next week, so I'm going to have fun time. Also, Hugo's going on leave next week for a couple of days, so it's going to give me more time. I'm going to do some in-house. A lot of guys have been asking me to do tutorials. I'm going to do that while Hugo's away in the shop. Little tutorials on how to wick the insider, how to wick or coil and wick the insider, the extra set. There's a couple of tanks that people have asked me how to do as well, which I'll do all of those next week in the shop. So yeah, look out for those people who are wanting it. Hello, Mrs. M. Oh. I'm getting back. I'm harping on these South African juice makers. Man, oh man. I don't know why people buy international juice. I really don't. We are South Africans, as a mixer myself and as a South African vapor. We are spoiled for choice in this country. You have no idea. You are spoiled for choice. You know, in the last week or so, I've tasted a couple of new juices coming to market from the various vendors, and holy crap, South African juice makers have come up leaps and bounds in the last 6 months. It's absolutely phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal. Yeah, Linda Horn asked because PG is also the best flavor carrier. PG carries flavor the best out of them all. The unfortunate problem is a huge percentage of the population is slightly allergic, maybe that's not the right word, have effects with PG. It irritates the back of your throat. That's why you'll notice that most juices are 70% VG and higher. But yeah, PG carries your flavor better than your VG does. No, sorry, Brandon, we don't do pre-cut vinyls. There are places online that you can buy them overseas. We don't do them at all, eh? Ruan, we are getting some more B boxes. I don't know what colors. We've currently got the black one and the brown tarnished like one. We could get in those. Yeah. Yeah, that's a hot topic of debate is these bathroom mixes. Yeah, it's a hot topic lately. Yeah. Yeah, guys. Also, if you are on the E6 forum, and it's not punting my juices, if there are juices that you do like, there is a and that's across the board. We know all the local juice makers. There is a poll going on the E6 SA forum to vote for. There's a couple of juices that are now in the finals of the best juices in South Africa across the breakfast, dessert, tobacco, mint, menthol ranges. You go vote for your juices, please, guys. Obviously, the rest of the community and rest of the mixers out there would appreciate it if you go and voted for your juices that you like. What is the nicest single coil RDA for a squonker? Glenn asks. I would have to go with the Pulse. I'm really loving my Pulse. I've got my Pulse on my squonker, my DNA 75 Therion squonker, and I'm really loving it. Really loving it. Easy, Glenn, especially for you, because I know you're building and wicking. It is literally, it's so easy to wick, so easy to squonk with, easy to build on. So yeah, Glenn, and also as a general for somebody, I know Glenn personally, so that's why I'm mentioning it for him. But overall, it's still a brilliant tank. As I said before, the only downfall of it is I wish they'd put the airflow channel slightly lower. It would have been more flavor, but I think that's just because the way it's designed, they couldn't put it there. But that's the only downfall. But the flavors are really good, easy to wick, easy to build on. The bottom fed function works brilliantly on it. It's probably the best bottom fed function I've ever seen on a RDA, and the flavor is really good as well. So yeah, Glenn, the Pulse RDA, you will not go wrong putting a Pulse RDA on top of an inbox. Yeah, setup, brilliant setup there. Attrition, yeah, dude. That is, we've had this debate before. That's my son. Where are you going?
Going.
Hello. That's my son. He turned 16 yesterday. Yeah. We were tradition. Yeah, tradition. We've had this discussion before, but about cost of juices in South Africa. You know, for as long as I can remember, a 30ml bottle of juices cost you around about 150 rand. If you look, Dresden, what would a 30ml bottle of juice in the UK cost you prior to TBD? Just in pounds, work it out in rands, and tell people what a bottle of 30ml quality bottle of 30ml juice would cost you in the UK, please, bud. Thanks, Brandon. Yeah, your mama is one of my juices, and yeah, it's. I'm going to try and word this diplomatically. You know, we appreciate people nominating our juices, but it's not the be all and end all of us. As you know, if we don't win, we don't win. It's one of those things. But we like it when we get good compliments on our juices, because we do put a lot of time and effort into them. Your mama is still one of my favorite juices of all time. It's a blackcurrant, blueberry, and raspberry frozen yogurt. It's absolutely. I think I've done at least a litre of that stuff since I made that. Peter, the thing with juices, if you vape a juice too much, sometimes you can actually go off that juice. It's like that with me with Milky Way. Milky Way is one of my juices from the Fogs range. I've probably vaped 5 litres of that stuff. I can't vape it today because it irritates my throat, and I don't enjoy the taste. Maybe what you need to do is just change your juice up for a while and then go back to it and see, maybe it might help. I can tell you I make slug juice and nothing has changed with the concentrates. The nicotine that we are now using is I can't tell you who we get it from in the States, because obviously that's the competitive edge that we've got. But our nicotine comes from a company who's rated in the top 3 nicotine producers in the world. So, the nicotine is top-notch nicotine. The concentrates are the exact same concentrates. The process method is exactly the same. That's we really stick to that. So you might be your system that's not enjoying it anymore. Try a different juice. Pleasure, Glenn. Ruin, if you're having gurgling issues on the Exoset, you are not setting up your coil properly. I am going to be doing a tutorial on the Exoset, and I'm going to be doing a tutorial on the Insider to show you how to work it properly. Yeah, there's Dresden. 15 pounds to 18 pounds for a 30 ml bottle of juice. Okay, so times that by 16 or 17, and that's what you pay for a 30 ml bottle of juice in the UK. Yeah, it's scary. Yeah, and then in the US, you're paying $25 for a bottle of 60 ml bottle of juice. Yeah. Yeah, the Rogue was a pain in, it was like a knife in my back, you know. For those who know me, my best juice in the world is Ripe Vapes VCT, and it's a caramel tobacco, or vanilla caramel tobacco, and because it's expensive juice, I've tried to make my own one, and it took me 18 months before I came up with Rogue. The only way that I actually eventually settled on the recipe is I almost gave up on it totally. Is I'd made a liter, the last, I think it was version like 52, and Hugo will back this up and Etienne will back this up, and it was like version 52, and I'd made it up and I'd let it sit for like 3 weeks to a month, and I tasted it and it was like, oh man, I was gonna give up on it, and I put it in my cupboard and I just left it, and about three and a half months later I opened my cupboard up and it was sitting there, and I thought, you know what, let me actually give it a try now. It needed 3 months to sit before everything was steeped properly, and then that's how Rogue came around. That's why the juice sits for 3 months before it gets bottled. And sometimes it's a little bit longer than 3 months, because depending on the weather, and if it's been hot cold or whatever, or in like winter it takes a little bit longer because of that steeping time. So yeah, it just goes to show that steeping does really work, because the juice at a month didn't taste nice at all. I did not enjoy it at all. It was tasty, but it was not like something I would go and sell, you know what I mean? And then leaving it for those extra 2 and a bit months was the time that it needed to actually sit. So we make it and it sits for 3 months, sometimes 3.5 months before it actually gets bottled. And then I test it at like the 2.5 month mark, and then again, and then eventually, yeah, like this last batch was actually 3.5 months because of the winter period, that it's batch 3. But yeah, that's how what steeping can do to a juice. Yeah, $260 for a 30 ml bottle of juice. That's scary. Yeah, it is. It's you know, people. Yeah, that's the thing with DIYing as well. DIYing, and that's why a lot of people give up on DIYs. DIY, you need patience. Without patience, your DIY will not work. If you're vaping menthols and you're vaping really simple, easy fruit mixes, that's not a problem, you know. Shake and vape type of scenario, that's fine. But if you're doing things like bakeries and creams and whatever, you have to let them sit for time to steep, and the longer they sit, the better they get. Exactly aligned through Rogue. It's you know, I could have left it there and just forgotten about it and just turfed it in the dustbin, and I would have lost out on a good juice. But I tested it again and it was, oh man, buttery smooth, and all the tastes that I was looking for were there, but all it needed was extra time. So yeah, I have to be patient now. Yeah. Yeah, Julian, but then you've also got to remember that you've got to pay shipping duties to get it here, which you forget about that. So you can add an extra, with import duties, you can add an extra 35 to 45% of import duties, taxes and VAT before you landed in South Africa. So yeah, it's not as cheap as people think it is. Yeah, those are my two fluffies. Come here, come say hello. Come here. Come here. Who's that? The little beige one is my daughter's dog. It's called Simba. His father's name was Mufasa. And then the little black one is Vader, and that's my son's dog. They're both Pomeranians. My watchdogs, best watchdogs you'll ever have in your life. Tea vapes, anything with bakery, cereal, creams, you need to let sit for a while. Fruits you can get away with like a week or two, menthols a week or two, gummy type ones a week, 10 days. But cereals, in my opinion, cereals, biscuit notes, bakery notes, cream notes need minimum 4 weeks. Minimum of 4 weeks. Yanni, Hugo did show me some photos today, but I didn't really have a look. I was so busy in the shop today, but I didn't have a look. No, Dastrix, I don't put them in my handbag, Rip, because that's you. You carry a handbag, not me. Oh. Have another hit on this mod. I must say, more and more, I'm actually enjoying. I'm liking the feel of this VGOD. It's really nice and ergonomic in the hand. Really nice. Oh. This is a new juice that we're launching. I think we launched this at VapeCon. Also juice that needs like 4 weeks to sit and mature properly. You can see by the color it's nice and it's getting nice and steep now. Paris Big Guy Hilton, yeah, that's me. And cleanest dogs, yeah. I've got 5 dogs. Got the 2 Pomeranians that are inside dogs, outside. I've got a American Spaniel, I've got a Labrador, and I've got a Great Dane. My dogs don't actually freak out about it because they always sit on when I'm watching some TV or having some downtime, the black one always sits on my lap. And I blow clouds at it and attempt to blow rings at it, and it just sits there and looks at it. I think it's a little bit dwarf though. Yeah, it's not the brightest dog on the block, but it's a good watchdog. Yeah, any questions, guys? We've already been on for 1 hour and 7 minutes. Holy crap, we can sit and talk shit. Yeah. Oh. Dresden, I would not let my Great Dane in here. It weighs like 65 kilograms, and it would want to come and sit on my lap while I did the live feed because it thinks it's a lap dog. Yeah, it thinks it's a lap dog. Any questions relating to the products that I've spoken to about, just give us a shout. Anything about vaping, just give me a shout, let me know. But if you're needing any tutorials done, I'm doing the Exocet again, I'm doing the Insider, I'm doing the Kylan again, I'm doing the Amit dual coil, the Amit single coil, and the Azeroth. I'm going to do those tutorials next week in the shop, and I'll post them as and when I do them in the shop. Thank goodness there's no nicotine passed by passive vaping. Otherwise my dogs would be nicotine addicts. Because I tend to blow a lot of clouds in the house. Yeah. Put that one side. Oh. Whew. Making aliens from scratch. Yeah, I can make them, but with these, unfortunately, with my tree stumps as fingers, I just can't get the refinery that these other guys can get on their coils, because I'm clumsy as is. So yeah, I can make them, but where someone like Rion from Coil Company would make a strand this long in 10 minutes, it would take me 2 hours to make that, because I could sit there. Yeah, it's not the easiest with these big tree stumps. Let's give away these prizes while we're waiting here. So, just a big shout out to Ohms Raw. For those who don't know Ohms Raw, it's Daniel from Ohms Raw. He's an Instagram reviewer for anything that's vape related. He's kindly donated an Azeroth RTA, and then Wiener Vape Company donated a XXX shirt, a Wiener Company shirt. That's going to go to somebody who wins the prize tonight. I'm going to do a riddle tonight, so let me just grab a riddle here quickly. Riddles, let's go. I'm going to type in fucking hard riddle. I swear too much, you know that. Come on, more riddles. These are easy. Okay. Remember, it's the first person that I see. Everybody's internet's different speed, guys. No moaning and complaining. I see it as I see it. I will copy and paste the winners, and then whoever wins, just remember that if you've won in the last 4 weeks, don't bother entering, because I've got your name written down, and you can't win. You can only win once every 4 weeks. Okay, so yeah, don't even enter, because you will be discounted if you've won in the last 4 weeks. Okay, everybody ready for a riddle? Everybody ready for a riddle? Say yes. I want to see yes, 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 yes. Hundreds of yeses. Okay. I'm going to speak and pronounce my words as best as possible. And open your ears now and let's listen. What 4-letter word can be written forward, backward, or upside down and can still be read from left to right? I'll repeat that again. What 4-letter word can be written forward, backward, or upside down and can be still be read from left to right? Sure, that was quick. That was quick. And the winner is, I'm posting it now. And the winner is Garesh L. Garesh L. I hope I pronounced that properly. The answer is noon. Yeah. That's is the correct answer. It's actually with a capital N, but that's not a problem. The answer's right. So well done, Garesh. Please contact me on the survey page. PM me on the survey page, not my personal page, on the survey page with your address, details, etc. If you are in Durban, you're more than welcome to come and fetch it in the shop. Yeah, PM me your details and I'll get that prize out to you as quickly as possible. Demolished my name again. I don't know how to pronounce. I battle to remember my own name in the morning. So yeah. Well done, well done. So don't forget to PM me. Yeah. I'm busy gathering some prizes up here for another big competition, which we're going to have towards the end of the month. Yeah, so that's going to be nice. I've got some stuff gear coming in from other suppliers over China that have now added us to their reviewers list. Can't wait to see what's going to happen, what I'm going to send. Just also a big shout out to Ohms Raw. He's been a reviewer for a long period of time and he's quite happily handed his stuff over to, new stuff over to us to give away as prizes. So thank you very much, Daniel. Who's Ohms Raw. Can you also, guys, just please go, if you are on Instagram, please go follow Ohms Raw. The way you'll get it on, I'll just spell it here so that if you can, let me spell it properly. Ohms_Raw. I think that's the way. Otherwise, Daniel will correct me. That's it, how his tag is on Instagram. Just go give him a follow. It'll be greatly appreciated. Any vaping related questions, guys? I'm going to give you guys another like 10 minutes and then we're going to call it quits. Gordon, you won my thanks for being the first person there. I'll actually maybe do that one day. I won't tell you when, but it's I'll give a prize sometime, maybe next week or the week after, I don't know when. First person that makes a comment with a pre-allotted time before I go live will win something. Guresh. That's a beautiful thing, you know, about this community, about vaping in general. You know, I have made so many friends from vaping that I would never have associated with in my life prior to me opening the vape shop with Hugo. And it's not because of any other reason, but I would never have been in a situation to have met them. You know, Daniel was one of them, you know, Mohammed, Abra, trying to think of other people that I've been watching tonight. Gerhard, Beebs, people that I would have never met in my life before, and that's the amazing thing about vaping. You know, and it's like, yeah, he doesn't, Daniel doesn't have to give us stuff to promote our business, or our channel, not our business, because this, although it's Craig from Survape, this is about the community, this channel. It's not about us as in general. You know, that's why I advertise Wiener, I advertise all the other vendors as well, because it's about the community at the end of the day. So yeah, thanks a lot, bud. Brandon, it's in Durban. Asked to disclose the location of the new shop. It's in Durban, not too far from the existing shop. All I can tell you is that opening day, you guys are going to be blown away. It's, yeah, I'd hate to tell you what it's costing, but it's going to be of epic proportions. Nothing like it anywhere in South Africa. Yeah, so yeah, if you are making plans, we will tell you before. We will give you guys at least a month's notice on the day that we're opening. It's in Durban. We'll give you at least a month's notice. If you've got leave and you live in Durban, Joburg, Cape Town, or wherever, make sure that you're in Durban for that weekend, because we are going to have a massive sale as well, and it's going to be an epic weekend. Anything vaping related, guys? I see people are ducking off now that they haven't won a prize. Yeah, but sorry, I'm being sarcastic. Shouldn't be sarcastic. It's not the right way to do things. How to vape less juice. With today's tanks, there's no way that you can vape less. This is a little single coil in here. It's coming in like 0.7 ohms in here. And I can't remember how much juice it borrows tank, but this device alone in the last 2 weeks have obliterated 250 mils of juice, just this one little device. Yes, Franco, we will be over a weekend, buddy, and you will get sent a special invitation because you are my mate. Yeah, it's gonna be yeah. Myself and Hugo are so excited. We just want to show everybody what it's gonna look like and tell everybody where it is, but we've got to keep it a surprise. Yeah. 4 more minutes, guys. Any questions? Shout quickly. Sad day. I've had in a week I've had 3 mods of mine. Yes, they were rejects, but I've had 3 mods die in a week. I'm bleak as hell, all bleak as hell. They were duds. I tend to take the dud mods and fix them up for myself, thank goodness none of my prized ones have taken a dive, but yeah, I've had 3 mods die in a week on me. That's not lacquer. Yeah, but it's worth a flight down, eh? We're gonna have one epic party. I think we're gonna get Mr. DJ Beebs himself to come and play there, and just have one Skopskit Donna, have a massive sale. Yeah, gonna be lacquer. It's a pleasure, Linda. Yeah. We like to hear, and that's the thing is we've on our Facebook page, folks. I'm not telling you have to go there. We have got a review section, whether it's positive or negative comments. We appreciate all of them because it allows us to improve ourselves. If it's negative, as long as it's positive criticism, please leave us a review. It goes a long way in the community, and it goes a long way to help us. So if you please take the time to give us a review if you possibly can. Brandon asks, what's your preference for flavor build in terms of wire? I'm a bit of old school guy, Brandon. I like your normal wires, although I love these special coils that are available today. I really do. But in my general day-to-day tanks, I tend to use a very similar build in all of my tanks, depending on the size of the deck. And my wire of choice is haywire, and the type of wire is the 24 gauge flat wire. That's my wire of choice currently. 24 gauge or the 22 gauge flat wire. Those are the wires that I use. Franco. Maybe, yeah. Ishan, that's a really good way to put it. Juice consumption is directly proportional to the satisfaction achieved. Best statement I've heard yet. It'll be just after VapeCon that we open. We've just got too much to go on with VapeCon as well, so it'll be just after VapeCon that we open. Moment of silence. Yeah, I was very bleak when my mods died. They were duds in the beginning to start with, like the temperature sensing didn't work on the one, and the other one had a trigger that was a little bit touch and go. you know, yeah, so a little bit bleak, but yeah. You shouldn't be bathing watching my video then. T-Vapes, the wire that heats up the fastest is still stainless steel. It does ramp up very quickly, although nichrome is between stainless steel and Canfor. Stainless steel you tend to use with stuff like menthols and fruits. Nichrome you can use for anything. Yeah, my wire of choice is nichrome. Okay guys, to the winner, congratulations. Don't forget to PM me. Thank you very, very much for watching. Keep vaping. Yeah, thanks for the support. Don't forget to go and like Ohms Raw on Instagram. Please leave us a review if you want. Don't forget to comment and like the video. Subscribe. Tell your mates to subscribe. The more viewers we can get, as I've said before, the more our standing in the reviewer community goes, and the better prizes that we get given. So yeah, guys, thank you very much for watching. Have a lovely evening. Keep vaping. Stay off the stinkies and try to get some other people off the analogs and to go digital. Good night, folks.